waved at you earlier?
Hi.
Say hi to you. Really? Really?
And it was you.
Wow, you took it. Besides mom? Estelle? Estelle? But I. Really? Well, that's out of style. Take me by my.
Really?
Respond?
You know,
Not like it. We're running under the 2 minute. We'll be okay. 'Cause we were also going to honor that. Like, can we do it in? Sure. Who's bringing Stella today? Today was fun. Okay. First early. Oh. At 8 o'clock.
Good evening, School Board, Dr. Hernandez, and district staff. The time is now 5:47 p.m. Please note that the hearing will start, on this 19th day of February 2019. And I call the public hearing of the Edgewood Independent School District to order. Ms. Teresa Salinas will present the TAPR report.
Good evening, President Soto, Edgewood School Board, Superintendent Dr. Eduardo Hernandez, Edgewood ISD community and staff. This evening's presentation is on the Texas Academic Report Card for 2017-2018. I will begin the presentation by providing you with an overview of the TEA individual campus ratings. Edgewood ISD had 11 campuses that earned the state's top rating of Met Standard. We had 9 traditional campuses meet the standard and 2 early childhood centers. We also had 6 campuses that are currently under improvement required. As a district, our overall accountability rating is a D. We are very proud to state that we earned a superior rating of an A in our financial report. We are in need of intervention for our special education students, and we met the requirements of the ASVAB assessment. We are very proud that Roy Cisneros Elementary earned 2 distinguished designations. They earned 1 for mathematics achievement and the other for being in the top 25% of comparative groups for closing the gaps. This is our student demographic profile. Last year in 2017-2018, we served a total of 10,412 students. Of those, 93.2% were economically disadvantaged, 19.7% were English learners, and 74% were at risk. 19.3% were enrolled in our bilingual ESL program. We had 27.7% of our students enrolled in our career and technology education programs. We had 5.2% identified as gifted and talented and enrolled in our program. And we had 10% receiving special education services. Some staff information, we had 99.8% our average teachers' years of experience. That's how many years they've been in the profession, whether that be regardless of district, whether they come to us with experience. And then we had 6.8% was the average of our teachers with in the district. And that's just the average of teaching experience. We had 22.5% turnover rate of teachers. And we also had 37.2% of our teachers with 5 or less years of experience. Our attendance and dropout rate, last year we had a little bit of a dip in attendance, 0.4%. Our annual dropout rate in our middle school stayed the same, and we did have an annual, in our dropout rate for 9th through 12th grade, we did decrease the dropout rate from 2.7 to 2.1%. The following is a list of all of our STAR performance data for all subjects and all grade levels tested. This report is showing you all subjects and all of the content areas by approaches, meets, and masters. Once again, approaches means that our students know some of the grade level content. Meets means that they are on track. And when we look at our masters, we're looking at students who are on track for college at 75% college ready. So as you can see, we had 3 contents that performed over 60%. We had math, science, and social studies. And we have writing at 42%, and that's an area that we're currently addressing. The next slide shows our 4-year graduation rate for the 2017 cohort. For our total graduation rate, last year was a 90.7% in 2017, and the other bar graphs show you the graduation rate by demographic. This is our SAT performance in all subjects. For the class of 2017, you'll see that there's very little variation between the district and our Hispanic and economically disadvantaged students. The average performance on the SAT is about a 1060. ACT performance. A good score on ACT is a 20 to a 26. So in the class of 2017, our average score was a 16. The number of violent and criminal incidents for 2017 was less than 5%, and therefore our report has been masked for student confidentiality purposes. This next slide is really looking at our post-secondary progress of our graduates from 2015-2016. So you will see that you have the students and how they're performing, the GPA that they're earning in 4-year institutions by campus. So you see here Kennedy and Memorial. What you'll notice between the 2 graphs, because the other one is the 2-year, those that are enrolled in 2-year universities and how they're doing in terms of GPA, And what we notice is that when kids are enrolled in four-year institutions, they tend to perform higher. If you look over at the two-year, we have less students earning the 3.0, 4.0 grade point averages. In conclusion, campus performance objectives are set by campus committees. They're posted on each campus's website and are monitored throughout the year to check for progress on the achievement goals. So all of the data that I've shared with you is included in the campus performance, the campus improvement plans, and also in our district improvement plan. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Board members? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Do I have a motion to close the public meeting?
So moved, Mr. President.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Board Member Timothy Payne moves. Secretary Stella Camacho seconds. Do we have any discussion? If we have no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The public meeting is now adjourned. Excuse me. At this time, we will open for public comment regarding the presentation from the public hearing. Do we have anyone in the community that would like to make a comment? If no one would like to make a comment, then our meeting is adjourned. We will reopen our regular board meeting at 6 p.m.
I like that color. Yeah. Yeah. Really? They've been in they go with
Sorry? Okay, so this,
yeah. So with the government, U.S. government regular to Peter. Budo is still hanging with the board of directors. That he got siding with somebody that is not like Russian influence. Yeah.
Hello. Fine, how are you?
Anyway, no, just doing a board company like that sure for Mexico and all the changes that they're making.
Yes, we're in first.
Yeah. Hello. How are you?
No, they had hearings. What is it? What brand? No, what brand? No. What the company? Remember Sarah Coventry? I still have a.
Have you met Dr. Vaughn?
No, I'm just
He's going to introduce you tonight.
he was in the train.
We're going to start admin.
He said,
He's the new vice
Would that?
president. Yes. Big deal. Got your pen? Oh. Mira, you look like Frida Kahlo. Yeah? The hair of Frida Kahlo here. Oh. Patricia, at least you can bust out the gun. You got a gun.
oh yeah, that one was
Huh?
hungry.
Ready? Is that why you're supporting? Have him stand up. No, him, but I'm your folks.
Él es tu primo Raúl. A él me dijo.
I don't know. But he heard from- Good evening, school board, Dr. Hernandez, and district staff. The time is now 6:01 p.m. on February 19th, 2019, and I call this meeting of the Edgewood Independent School District Board to order. I will call the roll. Vice President Frank Espinosa,
Present.
Secretary Stella Camacho,
Here.
Board Member Timothy Payne,
Present.
Board Member Martha Castilla, Board Member Richard Santoyo will not be joining us this evening. Board President Roy Soto, I'm here as well. Let the record show that a quorum of the Edgewood Independent School District Board is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. Could everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, Texas Pledge, and a moment of silence.
Good evening, Board President, members of our school board, Dr. Hernandez, staff, and community. Tonight, I am very happy to introduce to you all our students from Brentwood Middle School who are ready to recite the pledge this evening. They are going to recite the U.S. and the Texas pledge. If we can please give them a big round of applause and welcome them this evening. I'd also like to invite to the podium the campus principal, Ms. Eva Reyna, if she can please come forward and introduce the students.
Sorry. Good evening, Board President Roy Soto, Superintendent Dr. Hernandez, EISD board members, and Edgewood community. My name is Eva Reyna. I'm the proud principal at Brentwood Middle School. I would like to introduce my assistant principal, Ms. Desiree San Miguel, and just a few of my outstanding Vikings from Brentwood. Damian Gonzalez, Brianna Reyes, Sierra Roman, Jasmine Vasquez, and Andrew Camacho. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
And if we can once again give them a big round of applause, our students from Brentwood Middle School. They did a fantastic job, and it's a little nerve-wracking, again, standing in front of an audience like this. So thank you very much, students. And we continue with the recognitions. Tonight, we continue to highlight our wonderful students of Edgewood ISD with our Leaders of the Pack video series. The individuals recognized tonight exemplify the PAC, which stands for Professionalism, Accountability, and Communication. Our Leaders of the Pack this month are a very special and dedicated group of students and staff who are just coming off an incredible performance of The Little Mermaid. Will the cast and crew of the Edgewood ISD Acting Academy please come forward, and if we can please give them applause as they make their way up. We'd like to recognize these students for the incredible talent that they are, for the incredible performances that they did this past week, and we want to recognize each and every one of them as our Leaders of the Pack. If we can please come down for a photo. All right, and if everybody can please squeeze together. They just had their performances last week of The Little Mermaid, and it really was quite a team effort to put those performances together. All right, everybody, thank you very much. Once again, another big round of applause to the acting company from Edgewood ISD and the incredible performance that they did with The Little Mermaid this year. We have students, the cast, and now, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to see why they are our Leaders of the Pack. We hope you enjoy the video.
My name is Cal Gonzalez. I am currently a senior here at the Edgewood Fine Arts STEAM Academy and John F. Kennedy High School. My sophomore year, I was elected as Public Relations Officer of the company, and then my junior and senior year, I've been the president. So I've gotten a lot of leadership skills aside from my acting skills that I've been able to portray to my fellow actors. We went through the normal rehearsal process. We started with our typical read-through. We started with blocking, and then from there, we just kind of went full swing. I think the most difficult thing was trying to convey these characters that are so beloved by many people in our community as an animated film into real life and bring that story to them.
My name is Michaela Johnson. I am a senior at Kennedy High School. The biggest obstacle we had with The Little Mermaid has been tech. We have 5 or 6 techies right now, but 4 of them are up in the balcony doing the spotlights and the microphones and the projections on screen. So we only have 2 people backstage, which are our 2 stage managers. But being that there are only 2 people, they can't do everything. So a lot of the actors have had to step up and help with moving set pieces on and off the stage and helping paint and build on Saturdays, on tech days. And I feel like that has brought us together even more as an ensemble and connected the actors and the technicians more. It's been 7 years that I've been in Edgewood since 6th grade. And from Ren to Kennedy to the Fine Arts Academy, I've never experienced a more supportive community. I love how everyone is involved in everything. And for the parents and the people that aren't necessarily like going to school here and the alumni, I would just like to thank them for being supportive and for helping students on their off time and for supporting them in the choices that they make.
I'm Jaden Cerna. I'm a senior at John F. Kennedy High School. As vice president of the Academy Acting Company, it shows me like a lot of responsibilities that I have to do, and it just teaches me how to lead a group of people. In theater production, the tech side, it allows me to really release my creativity with like designing our sets and designing props. We prepared for this show by getting a list of all of the props and sets that we're gonna have to build. There was not really like a stand-on set that we're gonna have since we were gonna be having projections. So most of our set pieces were just built on and they're meant to be brought in and brought off, but we had to work with the projections that we did have, even though we didn't have the right projectors and it wasn't bright enough. We had to work with the shadows that were going to be casted, and we had to figure out a way to light the stage properly while still being able to see our projections, since that was our set. At Red Middle School, I took a theater course in 6th grade, and in 7th and 8th grade, I had the opportunity to become the stage manager for our one-act plays. It helped me transition to high school, showing me what a stage manager does and what's expected. Currently in my freshman year, Ms. Casso has been a big influence by showing me what a techie does and what we can do with actors. My peers at the Academy Acting Company have provided me a great sense of direction in theater production at the high school level. But what I enjoy most is that we're a big family and they're very welcoming.
I'm Claudia Casso, and I am the Theater Arts Director and Teacher at the Edgewood Fine Arts STEAM Academy, and I have been for the past 14 years. I had a very inspiring high school theater director myself. He inspired me to continue studying theater. So I always knew I wanted to be a teacher, and so when I began doing theater, it kind of just all fell into place. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Well, being here at the Academy for 14 years, it's really given me the opportunity to work with like a diverse group of students. And I think when I've worked with so many different types of students, I have the ability to kind of modify how I effectively manage them in class, manage them after school, and I know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. The talent that I have right now has very great initiative. They are very mature, they're very professional. They'll go on a Saturday and they'll go to an acting workshop and they'll take the initiative to go and do that on their own. So they do a lot of things independently and they continue to further study and develop their craft. I think that's what's really special about the talent that I have right now.
My name is Robert Ramos, theater technician. I've been here since I graduated in '77. I started in the theater here when it opened in 1999. I was under the direction of Mr. Howard Papora. He was our theater director here, and he got me into the theater. And I've been here ever since. And the reason I stay here is I just love to work with the kids. And we have a lot of very talented students here in Edgewood. I have a lot of help from the students here. I mean, we have construction students that come in and help us build the sets and so on. And every year it's something different.
Again, we have amazing talent with our Academy Acting students. If we can please give them one more big round of applause. now we are going to continue. Once again, good evening, Board President, members of our school board, Dr. Hernandez staff, and community. The Black History Month is recognized in the United States from February 1st to February 28th. Edgewood ISD honors African American leaders who have contributed greatly to the success of our nation and our communities. Here's a brief history lesson on a couple of things I was able to find out about Edgewood ISD. It was in 1942 when the George Washington Carver Elementary School on 216 Purcell was dedicated, meant to serve exclusively to African American students. The building is still standing today. A teacher who began there at the school, in 1942 was a teacher by the name of Elizabeth T. Wren, the first African American teacher in Edgewood ISD. She then became the principal of what would later be Lincoln Elementary School. Ms. Wren dedicated over 41 years of teaching, and 24 of those in Edgewood ISD. And in March 18, 1968, the then school board members voted to name the newest junior high of the time, E.T. Wren Junior High School. Also, in honor of Black History Month, we have displayed some artwork that our students have worked on from Gardendale Elementary School. The artwork was inspired by the artist Alma Thomas, an African-American expressionist painter and art educator, best known for her colorful abstract paintings. And that artwork is displayed on the table for everyone to enjoy. And those are just some tidbits of information that we were able to find out, but we know that there's so much more. And to share a little bit more of that history, I'd like to introduce Pastor Ken Rogers from New Life Faith Church, and who is a 1971 graduate of Kennedy High School, who will share a little bit more regarding the history in Edgewood ISD. If we can please welcome Pastor Ken.
Good evening. To the President, Mr. Soto, to the school board members, Dr. Hernandez, staff, and community. Thank you for having me this evening to talk a little about the month we are celebrating, Black History. We've come a long way, but as a graduate of John F. Kennedy High School in 1971, I have witnessed the continuous support Edgewood Independent School District have offered minority students. I would like to highlight some of the accomplishments of some of the district former students of color. I'm going to be as brief as I can. Dr. Doris King Jackson, graduate, Kennedy High School, class of 1973. Medical instructor, director of the nursing program at the Lone Star College, North Harris. The Lone Star College nursing program was recently ranked 4th in the nation by the Community College Week as a top associate degree producer. Darren Pace, graduate, Edgewood High School, 1970, business owner. Darren Pace is the chief executive officer where he currently owns 6 McDonald's restaurants in Dallas, Texas. Dr. Kenneth Wiley, medical doctor, graduate, Edgewood High School, class of 1964. He is an internist in Nashville, Tennessee. He graduated from Harry Medical College School of Medicine in 1977 and specializes in internal medicine. He has been in practice for more than 20 years in Nashville, Tennessee. He also speaks multiple languages, including Spanish and German. Dr. Wiley also has an internal medical office in New Orleans, Louisiana, and has been practicing medicine for over 42 years. Harold Tinsley, graduate of John F. Kennedy, class of 1970. Harold Tinsley, educator and musician. Harold began his professional career as an educator in the Edgewood Independent School District, where he taught for more than 16 years in the field of music and behavioral management. He shared his musical talents and performed throughout the state of Texas and across the country, including several performances at Carnegie Hall in New York. Most recently, the Carnegie Hall performance on Sunday, May 25th, 2008. What's significant about that? Harry went home to be with the Lord in July of 2008. He also served as director of music for Lackland Air Force Base, Texas for over 25 years. Kevin S. Wiley Sr., attorney, Dallas, Texas. Graduate, Edgewood High School, class of 1966. Specializes in construction law, employment, bankruptcy, corporate transactions, creditors' rights, business litigation, education. He graduated from Rhodes College, Memphis, Tennessee, with a BA in 1994. Trinity University, San Antonio, Texas, with a master's in urban administration in 1996. And St. Mary's University School of Law, San Antonio, Texas, JD degree in 2000. Alfred L. Irving, graduate of John F. Kennedy High School, class of 1970. Graduate of Rice University, Houston, Texas, in June of 1977. His bio is real long, so I'm just going to give you a very brief history. Alfred is currently owner and CEO of L. Irving Enterprises, where he provides comprehensive financial department re-engineering and oversight services. He specializes in financial management. And then the last one that I would like to talk about from the district, her name is Dr. Patricia Davis Blair, graduate, Edgewood High School, the class of 1969. Dr. Blair is currently owner and CEO of the Blair Law Firm. She provides services as counselor and attorney at law. Dr. Blair earned her Bachelor of Science in Nursing BSN degree from the Health Science Center, University of Texas, San Antonio, Texas, in 1975. A Master's of Science in Nursing MSN degree from the School of Nursing, University of Texas Medical Branch, Galveston, Texas, in 1984. A Juris Doctorate JD degree from the Thurgood Marshall School of Law, Texas Southern University, Houston, Texas, in 1991. A Master's of Law LLM degree from the Health, Law, and Policy Institute School of Law, University of Houston, Houston, Texas, in 1999. And her Doctor of Philosophy, PhD, from the Preventive Medicine and Community Health, University of Texas Medical Branch, Graduate School of Biomedical Science, Clinical Science Program, Galveston, Texas, in 2004. And then I was also asked to say something in reference to Black history where the churches are concerned. I pastor a church in the district, Edgewood School District. We sit on the corner of 41st and Estrella Street. The name of the church is St. Paul Baptist Church. I am a product of the district. We moved out of the district, but since I grew up in the district, a member of St. Paul for over 50 years, I have been a member of this district for over 50 years. I would like to be brief. In closing, I would just like, since Edgewood is an educational institution, the church, we are to provide spiritual teaching, learning for people so that they can understand that there's life after this life. So with that said, what I like to do is highlight some of the people of color in the Bible that it may be educational to some and some may know. Few people realize the tremendous importance in the Bible of three major countries, all of Black descent: Egypt, Ethiopia, and Africa. Were you aware that the first Gentile convert to Christianity was Black? He was called the Ethiopian Eunuch and was led to Christ by Philip. Did you know that Moses' wife, Zipporah, was a person of color? Did you know that many of the converts to Christianity at Pentecost were Black? Did you know that King David, author of some of the Psalms, had a great-grandmother who was a woman of color? Her name was Ruth. Did you realize that one of the most famous queens in history was a woman of color? She was the Queen of Sheba. Perhaps the most interesting biblical individual of Black descent is Simon of Cyrene, the man who helped Jesus carry the cross up the hill to Calvary. Here was a Black man of apparent wealth and substance, probably a man of importance in his own country, for few in those days was financially able to travel 800 miles from their home. By a strange stroke of faith or providence, this man found himself that Friday in the path when and where the Son of God fell beneath the load of the cross. For 2,000 years, writers have spoken of Simon of Cyrene and who helped carry the cross for Jesus. It has not always been made clear that Simon was Black. As we look at our history, Some have thought that the white man is superior to the black man. Such thought is entirely wrong and comes from the devil, who has always caused division. In fact, the Bible tells us that all men are equal and all have the same blood. Acts 17:25 and 26 says, "Seeing he giveth to all life, and breathed in all things, and had made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth." Yes, God has made all men of all nations and want all men to seek him. 2,000 years ago, the Bible said all men have one blood. After 2,000 years, men have found this to be true. Today, by transfusion, white man's blood is given to save a black man's life, and the blood of a black man is given to save the life of a white man. And let us never forget that the blood of Jesus was given to save all mankind. The kingdom is yours. Reach out for it. Accept it today. Those who will live eternally with Jesus will be of all nations. The deciding factor will be if Jesus has been permitted to be the Lord of your life. Paradise is available for every person who receives Christ as Savior. God wants us all to inherit eternal life once you plan to be there. In closing, I would like to say I'm proud to be a member of this district, Edgewood Independent School District. We've come a long way. We still have a long ways to go. God bless Edgewood School District. God bless you.
Mr. Payne, you have the floor.
First of all, I would like to say thank you, Pastor Rogers, for that history. And I would like to have copies of that so I can put in my archives, because a lot of the things that you were talking about, I did not know about students of our district. And just going back to what you said about blood, please understand, for everybody that's sitting in this room, he talked about one bloodline. One bloodline means that we're all related. So what we need to understand is LOVE. It's all about love. So let's join in it and try to make this world a better place. But going back to, I want to reverse myself, going back to our students, I would like to just ask the question, what happened to everyone that's sitting in this here room during the nights that our students was doing Little Mermaid? I've gone to Les Miserables, I've gone to Hair, I've gone to Lion King, and that production was right up there with the best of the best of them. And I want to just commend our students for that awesome performance, because you guys, y'all put Edgewood back on the map again. And parents and our teachers, please embrace our students, because they are our diamond in the rough. And we need to continue to uplift them, but also encourage them, because I've never seen those students perform like that, because I've gone to their plays 2 years now. But that performance was just the best. The props, the stage, and the performance, the singing. You know, you just had my heart singing all weekend after I went to that production. So I want to just give y'all a round of applause again, because that was the best for me. And thank y'all once again, and don't let anybody tell you what you cannot do, because you've already proved it already. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. We'll continue with agenda item number 3. Dr. Hernandez will go over the superintendent's report.
So good evening, Mr. Soto, board members, and staff and community. I have a few items for the board superintendent report this evening. Just a reminder to everybody, these are directly off the board superintendent goals. So those, you find them listed there, Goal 1 all the way through Goal 5. Talk about these every month. But as always, our first one being focus on student success. And again, for our students this evening, again, we welcome you and thank you for being here this evening. I want to start this evening by putting a focus on our public relations folks. And we have two of our folks here. I wish they were all here, but this is actually hot off the presses. Our Edgewood ISD Public Relations Department won a Gold Star Award today at the Texas Peaceboro Award Conference that they're having in Austin today. And so they got a Gold Star in Excellence for the Edgewood newsletter that we put out. And so I want to thank Ms. Kayla Lugo Calderon. I know she's here. Where are you at, Ms. Kayla? And then, of course, Carissa over there, because it is a team effort. And this really puts the district on the map, because these are all they're like people across the district. There are over 1,000 school districts in the state of Texas. And so for them to receive this award in Austin at their annual conference, this is a pretty big deal. So we're going to bring pictures back later, but I wanted to put it on the board superintendent report today. So let's give them a round of applause. So the second individuals that I want to talk about this evening are our Edgewood people. You know, the greatest thing we have in our school district is our people. We just got through talking about our students, but of course, our students couldn't be successful if we didn't have teachers and other individuals in the school district that were here for the right reasons, and the right reasons are kids. So I want to start by asking Denise Aguilera from Stafford Early Childhood to come to the front. Ms. Aguilera was given the KENS 5 Excel Teacher Award. She was on the news. I mean, we're all out there making a big deal out of her. She got an apple. She got a whole bunch of stuff. And so we wanted to bring her this evening to highlight the fact that she got herself on TV. You know, the kids were all excited. They were all speaking to the media. They were telling everybody how they had the greatest teacher in the world. And so we're very proud of you and the contributions that you make for our school district. So I want to give her a round of applause and highlight her this evening. And so for our next presentation, I'm going to invite our Senior Executive Director of Human Resources, Mr. Travis McIlvain, to come up and introduce our new Vice Principal at Memorial High School, Dr. Timothy Vaughn.
Good evening. Dr. Timothy Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn, if you'll stand up and come to the front, please. I'm very proud to introduce to the board Dr. Timothy Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn was born in Stockton, California, and he's the youngest of 4 siblings. He received a football scholarship to Kentucky State University, where he played all 4 years and was a team captain. Dr. Vaughn's wife, Kelly, is a licensed attorney and works for the Department of Defense. Additionally, he has 2 sons, Timothy Vaughn III, who is 13 years old, and Titus Vaughn, who's 7 months. Dr. Vaughn's entering his 12th year in the education field. He served as a high school English teacher, football and track and field coach, university teaching assistant, assistant principal, vice principal, and adjunct professor. Dr. Vaughn has taught in the states of Kentucky and Ohio. He completed his bachelor's degree in English education from Kentucky State University, and his master's degree was completed at the University of Dayton in educational leadership. Additionally, he completed his Doctor of Philosophy degree in educational leadership at Miami, Ohio University. Dr. Vaughn is currently an adjunct professor at Texas A&M University, San Antonio, and his research is steeped in the notion of developing culturally responsive leaders who utilize critical spirituality and principles of transformative leadership within a school setting. His belief is that all students can succeed in their own way, and it is his responsibility to uplift and empower them to reach their goals and dreams. We're so happy to bring Dr. Vaughn on board as the Vice Principal at Memorial High School.
Family.
And Mr. Soto, that is my board superintendent report.
Thank you. At this time, we move to our next agenda item, which is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve? I'm sorry, we have a presentation. Dr. Hernandez, you have the floor again.
At this time, I'm going to ask Marisa Perez-Diaz, our Director of Strategic Partnerships, to come up. We do have a presentation from the Edgewood Education Foundation for a check for some money. So they're going to come up and present that for Innovative Teaching Grant. Ms. Perez-Diaz?
Good evening, Board President Soto, Superintendent Hernandez, Board of Trustees, and Edgewood community. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the board chair for our Edgewood Education Foundation, Ms. Adelina Cifuentes. And so as Ms. Cifuentes makes her way up, I just want to say that we are very excited to have a partnership with the Edgewood Education Foundation. They were established in 2009 and have since provided over 530 grants to our teachers here to help our programming, and over 30, I think it was over $300,000 has been raised to support graduation, to support scholarships and grants in this district. And so thank you so much to this group of volunteers, I might add, who really contribute a lot of time, energy, and funds to support the programs that we have in this district. And so, Ms. Cifuentes.
Marisa. Mr. Soto, Board President, Dr. Hernandez, Superintendent of Edgewood, the Board of Edgewood, we thank you immensely for your leadership. And I especially want to thank the educators and the staff of Edgewood, and most especially the community that's here tonight. We raise funds to give back to the Edgewood District. Almost every penny goes back to the community. We bring today $10,000, and maybe in the future it'll multiply many times. So I just ask for your support whenever we have events like the golf tournament or the Hall of Fame, because all that money comes back to the district. And I most especially do not want to forget to thank the educators again, because they're the ones who inspire and they build the backbone of this community. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that concludes this presentation.
Mr. Soto, next we're going to get an update on Goal 4, which is focused on employee and organizational improvement, from our Senior Executive Director of Human Resources, Mr. Travis McElvain. He'll be presenting to the board and to our community.
Thank you, Dr. Hernandez, and good evening again, Board President Soto, members of the board, Dr. Hernandez, staff, Edgewood community. I'm very honored this evening to formally present this update on our board and superintendent's Goal 4. Before I get started, I do want to acknowledge three members, outstanding members of my administrative team, who, because it was my birthday, I completely conned them into coming to the board meeting to watch me. But I do want to acknowledge my three admins who are here: Mary Cantu, who's one of our hiring administrators who focuses on professional hiring. Thanks for being here, Mary. Patricia Mendoza, who is one of our hiring administrators that focuses on paraprofessional and classified hiring, and then Danny Gonzalez, who's our compensation administrator. So thanks. My outstanding HR team. So over the next few minutes, I want to share progress on the 4 components of Goal 4. We are going to discuss the creation of a district handbook for our principals, methods that we currently use to gather critical feedback from our employees. We're going to describe our recruitment, induction, and new employee support programs, and opportunities that our current employees have to grow in their careers through various leadership advancement programs. Legendary coach Vince Lombardi said that individual commitment to a group effort, that is what makes a team work, a company work, a society work, a civilization work. Progress toward Goal 4 takes every individual in the organization to commit to supporting and growing our employees, and is ultimately the collective responsibility of every member of the senior leadership team to ensure that each individual within our areas of responsibilities do their part to achieve success. Our proud district has over 1,600 valued employees, and roughly 81% of the district's budget is dedicated to staffing our schools and departments. Through a collective commitment to progress with Go4, we can keep our great employees, grow our new employees, and support everyone throughout the organization. So this evening, during my presentation, I want you to become reacquainted with the 4 strands of Go4. We'll discuss progress toward this goal and explore areas for continued growth before I open it up for questions or discussion. Goal 4.1, the superintendent will create a handbook for use by principals across the district. This year, Dr. Hernandez has challenged every department and central office staff member to ensure that the complete focus of our work is dedicated entirely on principal and teacher support. Fundamentally, the district's mission is executed by every teacher every day in every classroom. And one of the most important factors in their success and in the support of our teachers lies in how well our principals are able to lead and support them. So every department in the district revolves around providing the needed supports to our campus principals, who in turn can funnel support directly into the classroom. Even our instructional coaching model has shifted from a central office directed position to a principal-led role this year. From HR to finance to operations, we all exist for one reason, and that's to support our campuses. To this end, our 2 school chiefs are working with each department to provide specific guidance to principals that will be compiled into a comprehensive guidebook. Our goal is to ensure strong, consistent processes on every campus of the district. And additionally, board, with your support, we've recently selected a specialist for policies and administrative regulations that is housed actually in HR. This individual is currently working with every division to create administrative regulations that will be accessible to every employee and help ensure consistency in our practices throughout the district. Listening and responding to the challenges and celebrations of our employees remains a top priority in Edgewood, and Goal 4.2 directly addresses this need. Through a variety of forums, we gauge organizational culture and climate, assess the needs of our staff, and develop methods of supporting areas of strength. District leadership is committed to exploring new and effective means for gathering this critical feedback so that we can continue to grow and support our treasured employees. In doing so, we gather valuable feedback that informs and supports our departments and informs the support that our departments provides to our campuses. This is a picture from our new teacher celebration dinner that I'll speak about here more in a bit, but this is just one unique way that we get feedback from our employees. Goal 4.3 addresses the recruitment, induction, and support of new employees. And the following slides, I'll describe the efforts I'll describe our efforts along all 3 fronts. How we use innovative techniques in recruiting to reach lofty hiring goals, and how we build a comprehensive employment induction process intended to guide employees through their first year of employment. And finally, how we aim to provide ongoing support for employees across every facet of the organization in an effort to keep our great talent. Our great HR team works closely with each campus principal to ensure that an ample supply of great talent is available when vacancies arise. Each summer, Edgewood ISD's Human Resources team hosts a teacher job fair. This past summer, over 230 individuals who wanted to become part of Edgewood ISD's family attended our job fair, and it turned out to be a huge success and was instrumental in filling remaining vacancies prior to the start of school. Additionally, our hiring administrators and specialists work tirelessly to attend local university job fairs such as UTSA, Texas A&M San Antonio, UIW, Our Lady of the Lake, and more. We also attend regional university job fairs such as in Brownsville, McAllen, Laredo, San Marcos, Edinburgh, Kingsville, and Austin. This, along with a variety of targeted recruitment efforts, has led the district to begin the school year with 0 teaching vacancies for the past 2 years, a goal that was not reached in over 20 years prior to the start of the 2017-2018 school year. Finally, because of your support in increasing sub-pay for secondary assignments, we continue to deepen the pool of substitutes who in turn become an important internal source of talent when full-time positions open up. So thank you to the board for your ongoing support. As we very well know, recruitment, clearing, offering, signing our new employees is just the beginning of our jobs. One of the most important things that we do as a district is appropriately welcoming our new employees to the district. Through intentional touch points, we gather information about our new employees, about their needs, and we seek to enculturate and immerse them into our proud Edgewood family. These activities are not done in isolation or led by a single department, but rather require the collective efforts of internal and external partners. For example, our Academic Services Department does an incredible job in hosting our week-long New Teacher Academy. And our friends with the Texas State Teachers Association partner with us to celebrate our new teachers at our New Teacher Dinner. Along the way, we seek input and feedback from our newly hired employees so that we can use the information that they provide to refine our processes and to make our future employees feel welcomed and supported. And finally, supporting our employees. Throughout our employees' tenure with us, we endeavor to find new and increasing ways to support them, whether through our mentoring program, Key Connectors, or the ongoing coaching support provided to classroom teachers at every campus. We aim to help our employees reach their full potential so that our students can learn and grow in a nurturing environment that challenges and stimulates their thinking and opens up their eyes to a world of opportunities. We are proud to acknowledge the progress that we've made as a district in supporting our employees and feel that our reduction in teacher turnover from 26.9% to 22.5% in just one academic school year is in part due to these efforts to support our employees. Goal 4.3 charges us with ensuring that programs are put in place that allow our employees to step into higher levels of leadership. Through the creation of leadership roles across the organization, our employees have more opportunities to expand their influence, strengthen their skills, and grow within the district. Just this year, we've been able to craft leadership roles such as lead bus driver, lead custodians, lead mechanic, and lead nurse. We've also had great partnerships, or we enjoy great partnerships with Trinity University and UTSA's School Leadership Master's Program, which allow us to cultivate campus leadership potential in our outstanding teachers and instructional coaches. Through the board's support, we are developing the next cohort of campus leaders through the administrative interns, whose full-time job while completing their master's degree is to support and learn from our campus principals. Finally, board, we recognize the tremendous impact of our teachers and staff. We recognize that the tremendous impact our teachers and staff are making in the lives of students. Through their commitment to student success, dedication to high expectations, and devotion to the mission of Edgewood ISD, they are literally changing lives for the good, opening up doors of possibility for the children of our proud community. Every chance we get, we want to recognize these efforts, whether through monthly recognition at our board meetings, special recognition at campus and department levels, or through celebrations and events. Our employees are at the heart of everything we do because our students are at the heart of everything they do. We acknowledge the work of the board in supporting these efforts and in participating in the recognition of our great employees, and we certainly thank you for leadership in that area. So this evening, I wanted to share with you our plans and the current development of creating a handbook for use by principals, the means and methods by which we survey staff to get feedback from them, our recruitment, our induction processes, and the support that we have for new employees, and finally, the leadership advancement programs that we have in place to grow our leaders within the district. And so I hope that I've successfully accomplished that task, and certainly would entertain any questions or comments at this time.
Board members?
Thank you very much.
I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You presented a very comprehensive, very structured process plan. Can you share some of the feedback that your great HR team has been receiving from everyone that you're touching with this new program?
Absolutely. I'll speak particularly to our new teacher celebration dinner, where we invited all new teachers to Edgewood, whether they came to us with experience or not. And our partners and our friends with TSTA, provided dinner, and it was a great opportunity to not just acknowledge them and thank them for committing to the district, but also to get feedback from them. And so it was a very structured process. And we got some tremendous feedback from our new teachers. So, for example, we got feedback around the support that was provided at the New Teacher Academy and how well they felt supported initially from the district, the different areas that they felt were most beneficial, and then the areas that they wish that we had expanded more on. And that information is going to inform how we plan for next year's New Teacher Academy, that week-long training camp that we have for new teachers before the beginning of the school year. The other, areas of feedback are as exciting as ways that we can even, make information more easily accessible to brand new employees. So, for example, some of our new employees came to us with ideas about, creating instructional YouTube videos for brand new teachers on how to use the systems that we have in place so that they can, so when I say systems, I mean gradebook, attendance systems, and the different sort of functions that they have to go through at the campus level. And then that way, instead of, searching for people to help them with these technical questions, it's right there at their fingertips. Those types of feedback that we receive from employees only help us understand kind of what are the needs and what are the very practical ways that we can support. Things that we would not even necessarily think of outside of getting that feedback. And so that's just an example of some of the feedback that we get and how we can turn it and use it to help refine our processes.
How have principals embraced this empowerment that you've given them?
Well, I have to let them answer that. No, I think that they listen. When the principals know that everyone in the organization is there to support the mission and the efforts at the campus level, then it is empowering. They're able to exercise appropriate instructional leadership. They're able to put their stamp of leadership on the campus, and it's just empowering. I think that they've felt that. We certainly have gotten feedback from principals about the level of support. Even as recently as today, I was surprised with a very kind of thoughtful note from one of our principals about how good they felt about the level of support from my HR administrators. Not knowing that it would be shared with anyone, but certainly I think that because of the shift in focus, it allows them to do their job, and they know that every area of the district has their back. There's not probably the superintendency is more difficult, but beyond that, the principalship is probably the hardest job in the district. And certainly we exist to make sure that their job is easier and that they're supported so that they can in turn help our teachers and support them and make their jobs easier.
So I want to add a little bit more to the comments that Mr. McAvey made this evening. And first of all, thank you to Mr. McAvey and the members of the Human Resources Department. This conversation this evening begins a series of conversations around the board superintendent goals. Every time we have a regular board meeting, you will see a member of the executive team presenting to the general public about the specific area of oversight that they have. So this evening we had board superintendent goal 4, that's HR. Next month you'll hear from our public relations officer around board superintendent goal 2 and how we connect with the community. So every month moving forward, we're going to be having those discussions here with the general public to keep you informed so that you hold us accountable as members of the executive team, but also as members of the governing body. Most of you probably don't know this, but 2 weeks before we actually have a regular board meeting, we also have a study session night with the board. Those meetings begin usually at 6, and I commend the board that those meetings will sometimes go up till 10 p.m. So any item that you see on a board agenda has been vetted and thoroughly discussed with members of the board. The executive team brings those items to the board. We study them as a group. We engage as thought partners. We go very deep in these conversations because governing also means understanding what we're doing as a team. And this team that sits up here takes very seriously the work that we do in terms of leading the efforts of the school district. So you'll see the little red box up there. If I can invite everybody to look up there, the PAC. Those are our corporate values as a school district. We believe that there are 3 core values that we follow in all that we do. We remain professional, we remain accountable, and we consistently communicate over the course of the school year and become as transparent as we can with all things that we do as a school district. I want to add that to the conversation this evening because, as I said, you'll continue to have more presentations from our different departments. And then you're also going to see us wear these pins. You can't see them from up there, but these are the leaders of the PAC. So all the folks that were up here when they're recognized, they get this little pin. Because the thing we're going to do in the school district is add value to the culture that we have. Around 3 very easy things to remember. Be professional, be accountable, and communicate constantly. That's the pact that we have as a school district here in Edgewood ISD. So thank you again, Mr. McIlvain. Mr. Soto, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you. We'll continue with agenda item number 5. At this time, we move to the consent agenda. Do we have a motion?
Mr. President, I motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Do we have a second?
Second, Mr. President.
Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Board Member Timothy Payne seconds. Do we have any discussion? If we have no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The time is now 6:55, and the board will adjourn into closed session to discuss agenda item 6A pursuant to section 551.071 and 551.074 of the Texas Government Code. The board is now in closed session. No fish. Reconvened from closed session. The time is now 8 p.m., and the board will take appropriate action on items if necessary as discussed in closed session. Board members, do we have a motion regarding agenda item 7A?
Mr. President, regarding agenda item 7A discussed in closed session, I move to approve the revised board operating procedures as presented.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Secretary Stella Camacho moves. Board member Martha Castilla seconds. Do we have any discussion? If we have no discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. We will now move to agenda item number 8. Communication from citizens. We do have Ms. Susan Salinas that would like to talk to us a little bit about Labor Day.
Good evening, Superintendent Dr. Hernandez, Board President Santos, Soto, been a long night, and the rest of the board members and the administration that's still here with no citizens. My name is Susan Salinas. I'm with TSTA, Texas State Teachers Association. My local president, Leti Barbosa, could not be here tonight. She is on FMLA, so I'm bringing you greetings and encouraging you to join us for Lobby Day in Austin. On March 11th, first day of spring break, TSTA, along with our counterpart AFT, we are asking educators across this state to go to Austin and let legislators know that they need to fund public education. You guys know it more than anybody else how underfunded we are from the state of Texas. There are $19 billion in the rainy day fund. Just a couple billion would fund every school district here. So we encourage people. Dr. Hernandez has been great. We're trying to get some parents from Edgewood. We're going to provide a bus. So if you don't want to drive, you can ride on the bus with us. And we're looking at leaving about 9:30 from San Antonio, get to Austin, have a rally. We're going to be wearing red shirts, red for Ed, and talk to legislators. San Antonio has good legislators. The problem is West Texas, Houston, Dallas legislators. So we want to go and have us have nothing but red on the lawn of the Capitol and inside the building. And hopefully this will give the pressure for the legislation to do the right thing and fund public education. So if you would like to join us, you're more than welcome to come on your own. If you want to ride on the bus with us, please feel free. I have some flyers. We've been flyering all the teachers and our paraprofessionals out in the school districts. So we encourage you to please come. The only other thing I would request is consider moving citizens to be heard before you vote on things. If you truly want to hear from your citizens, you want to hear from them before you vote on important items. So parents who have little kids, teachers who want to speak to you, they can't stay this late. They got to go home and take care of family. So I encourage you, please, to consider moving it before the consent, before items you vote on. But thank you very much. If you have any questions about the Lobby Day, please feel free. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you, Ms. Salinas. The time is now 8:15. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. President.
Do we have a second? Board Member Timothy Payne moves. Secretary Stella Camacho seconds. Do we have any discussion? Do we have
President,
yes, sir.
I have one item. I just wanted to wish Mr. McElvain a happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Do we have any other discussion? If we have no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.